Tesh Dile, this is Sakina Bhatt and welcome to Tibet This Week, a weekly news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Central Tibetan Administration. Let's look at the headlines. His Holiness the Dalai Lama on creating a happier world. His Holiness offers support for relief and rescue efforts in Maharashtra. US raised concern on China's violation of human rights in Tibet, East Turkestan and Hong Kong. 4 Tibetan organizations filed complaint against International Olympic Committee in Switzerland. Russia's largest search engine, Yandex, invites Representative Telo Tulku Rinpoche to its headquarter. On Wednesday this week, His Holiness the Dalai Lama gave a lecture on creating a happier world during a virtual event organized by Action for Happiness on its 10th founding anniversary. When asked about how to make our hearts warmer, His Holiness said that human beings are well equipped from birth to be warm-hearted and to take care of others. The problem is our existing education system that is oriented towards materialistic goals, which needs to be reformed.
Taking care of each other is by nature. Basically, we are social animal. Therefore, you see, the affection, warm-heartedness, taking care of each other is the key factor, not necessarily connected with religious belief. Without religion, simply, as soon as we're born,
His Holiness the Dalai Lama offered support for relief and rescue efforts in the Indian state of Maharashtra over devastating flooding over the last few days. In his condolence letter to the state's Chief Minister, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray, His Holiness expressed his solidarity for the loss of life and the sufferings faced by many people due to the flooding. His Holiness made a donation from the Dalai Lama Trust towards the relief and rescue efforts. Wendy R. Sherman, the United States Deputy Secretary of State, has raised concerns about China's violations of human rights in Tibet, East Turkestan and Hong Kong during her 2-day visit to China on Sunday last week, according to a press release issued by the U.S. government spokesperson, Ned Price. The concerns were raised during meetings with China's State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi and other senior officials of the Chinese government. Sikyong Pembatsering of the Central Tibetan Administration welcomed the concerns expressed by the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State. I am encouraged that concerns about the ongoing abuses in Tibet were raised by the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, Wendy Sherman, with Chinese Foreign Minister. I hope the Chinese leadership heeds the call and puts an end to 60 long years of repression and suffering of Tibetans in Tibet, Sikyong said in a tweet. 4 Tibetan organizations based in Switzerland filed a complaint against International Olympic Committee with the Swiss National Contact Point in Bern for violating the guidelines over the award of the Beijing Winter Olympic Games. The guidelines for multinational enterprises obligate multinational enterprises like the International Olympic Committee to respect internationally recognized human rights and to carry out human rights due diligence for its activities like the 2022 Beijing Olympics. However, International Olympic Committee has steadfastly ignored the calls of the rights organizations for carrying out human rights due diligence despite concerns of widespread human rights violations by China. The 4 Swiss-based Tibetan organizations are the Swiss Tibetan Friendship Association, the Tibetan Youth Association in Europe, the Tibetan Community in Switzerland and Liechtenstein, and the Tibetan Women's Organization, Switzerland. Joining the global outcry over Beijing Winter Olympic next year, Senator Jeff Merkley and Representative Jim McGovern, the chair and co-chair of the bipartisan and bicameral Congressional Executive Commission on China, released a letter to Thomas Buck, president of the International Olympic Committee, asking him to postpone the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympic and to relocate them if the host government does not end its egregious human rights abuses. The letter released on Saturday last week said, no Olympics should be held in a country whose government is committing genocide and crimes against humanity. The chairs were joined on the letter by Commissioners Senator Marco Rubio and Representative Christopher Smith, both former Congressional Executive Commission on China chairs. The Department of Intellectual Property of Yandex invited Honorary Representative Telo Tulku Rinpoche of the Office of Tibet Moscow to the headquarters of Yandex to seek consultation on improving one of the online services Yandex provides, which is called Yandex Zen, on Wednesday last week. Yandex is the largest technology company in Russia and the largest search engine on the internet in Russia. So much for this week. See you next time and have a good weekend.